to find myself, you know.
Okay.
So
Well, glad to hear it. So as far as, I'm not very knowledgeable on the visa program, so can we just go over that one more time just so I can make sure I'm getting that right? You won the diversity visa, which was, which allows you to stay in for 6 months, or is it like, oh, with this now you can become a U.S. citizen?
okay, so with the diversity visa program,
Yes.
right? So they randomly pick you off of this pool of people, but you have to fill out the form on the internet.
Yes.
So for you to come to the U.S. and become a permanent resident, you have to get in with a visa. So that visa lasts for 6 months. So with that visa, before you get your green card, with that visa you're able to get a job and stuff. But before that visa expires, you become a permanent resident. So they transition you to being a permanent resident. So in a way, it's called the permanent resident visa because it allows you to do.
Okay. So when did you actually become a U.S. citizen? I thought Sierra said it was recently.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and you said you came to America about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So did
August. It took about 5 years and like 2 months.
To become a citizen?
Yeah, to become a citizen.
Wow.
It took about 5 years and 2 months. I mean, I could have filed it sooner because I heard that once you're in like 4 years and 9 months, you can file it. But like at the time, I had my internship with Kohl's and it was like a different state. So I wanted to make sure that I would be in Ohio during the time of them calling me for interviews and stuff. So I kind of like dragged it out a little bit until I was coming back to Ohio. And then I was like, okay, I have 2 more weeks here. So that's when I filed it because I knew I was going to be here in 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, good.
Okay. So how long did the actual process of you filing it to being accepted take?
To being a citizen?
Yeah.
It took less than 2 months.
Wow.
I know. It took less than 2 months. And I think the reason is I had like a really clean rap sheet. So it was like I've never gotten a traffic violation. I've never been arrested. I've never been pulled over. I don't have kids. I'm not married, you know. So it was like, I feel like I made your job easy for them. Like I've never left the U.S. So because it's like once you're filling out the paperwork, it's like 20 pages long. And it's kind of like all these questions. And mine was just no all the way. You know, it's like you have a kid. No. Are you married? No. Have you ever been pulled up? No. Have you ever gotten arrested? No. So it was like, so it was really easy. And like, so when I filed it in August, I had to do my background check in October. And then I had to do my interview in September.
What kind of questions did they ask you in the interview?
They asked you if you're a terrorist. Yeah.
How did they ask you that?
You're like, yeah, they just ask you like, are you affiliated with like, you know, any terrorist organizations and all of those. They also ask you if you've ever volunteered in like a prison or something. I don't know what they ask, but they do. Like, have you been, like, from the time of your filing to now, have you been arrested? Have you done something illegal? What else did they ask you? Have you ever been part of a Nazi community? Have you ever prevented people from practicing their religion? You know, all of these questions. So,
did you feel, when they were asking you these questions, did it feel like, was it insulting, or was it more like, oh, I just gotta get through this?
I wouldn't say it as an insult, but no, like I didn't feel any kind of way because it was already in the paperwork that I had to do.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, oh, I already like answered this question.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
So when you saw it in the paperwork, it didn't really offend you either?
No, because it was like I'm like I don't know the reasons for asking, but I'm just gonna check what applies to me type of deal, you know. But I wasn't offended. I mean, they have the right to ask, to kind of like vent people who are getting citizenship. So I kind of like understood that part of it. So.
Sure. So in the process of becoming a citizen, did you face any challenges?
Did I face any challenges? it would be waking up at 5 in the morning trying to get to Cleveland because everything is done in Cleveland. So it was kind of like, oh, and it's like everything is like super early, like 8 in the morning, and then you have to beat the traffic going to Cleveland. So it's like you have to be up at 5, and you have to skedaddle out of there. But no, I don't think I faced any major challenges because I feel like I did the preparation that I needed to do. So it was like a lot of internet search of like, okay, what is it like to be interviewed? Like, so they do have like a whole YouTube video that they made to help you answer this question. So it's like, it's like an hour and a half long. So I kind of felt like, and then you have to, so during the interview, they like ask you like civic questions where you have to like answer questions about the U.S. like who is the 44th president, like what party is the new president, like who is the president, who is the vice president, name like 3 different holidays, or like wait, what was the other one, like name the original 13 colonies, so it's kind of like for you to know those things as you're becoming part of the community and stuff. So
did you think your history background helped you with those?
It helped me. But I kind of felt like a lot of stuff was like new to me. I was like, I didn't even know a national anthem had a name. Like, they're like, Star Spangled Banner. I'm like, because my country, we don't have a name for our national anthem.
It's just the national anthem.
Yeah, it's just called the national anthem. So it's kind of like, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So it was like, and I love to read up a lot on like history books and stuff. So it was like, I didn't know that. So some of it was like new information, but like my history background helped me because it was like I already done all of this in school like 5 years ago. So I was like, yeah, not bad. I know that.
Okay. So why do you think so many people do have problems with becoming a citizen in the U.S. when you didn't? Is it solely the preparation in your mind?
No. I don't think so. I feel like I don't know, because when because I called up like friends that I knew who had like they became citizen like maybe 10 years ago or like 2 years ago, and some of them were like, oh, it's really easy, but it's not easy for everyone. Like, it's like if you make like a little mistake on your form, like they will resend it back to you. Like if you don't pay the correct amount that you need to pay, they're gonna send it back to you. So I kind of felt
is that,
like,
by the way?
how much was it? I think it was $725. Yeah, it came out of my paycheck. That was huge.
You said $725?
Yeah, $725.
That's expensive.
It is. I'm glad I got a paid internship this summer, but yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. So, are your parents then in Nigeria?
Yeah. All my family except one is here, which is my sister who used to live in Florida, and then now she lives in Chicago. So.
Do you miss them a lot?
Yeah, I do. But I try to talk to them once a week. Yeah.
Do you plan on ever going back and living there?
I don't know yet. But I don't. Right now, like I want to go home and visit. I want to go home and visit my niece and nephews, so that at least they know who I am. But as far as living there, I don't know, for sure. And I kind of feel like I'm still early on in my career, so I'm trying to figure out how to get a job here, and
Yeah, what's your dream job?
My dream job would be to own my business. But since I'm looking for a job, I want to get a job at a design firm as an assistant designer for right now.
And so this theoretical owning your own business where you make your own clothes and sell them? Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your design? Do you have a design aesthetic that you like to stick to or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on, let me grab my computer. Well, it's mostly what I'm making right now.
Yeah.
So.
Looks cool.
So I like to do a lot of clothings that are West African inspired.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I try to stay with the fabric that I grew up wearing. So I try to stay with the same aesthetic that I recognize because I kind of feel like it's part of who I am. It's like my culture. It's like how I was raised. So to me, it's like I still want to maintain that and I still want to promote that. Regardless of where I find myself, I still want to bring that in. And so I just started designing clothes and I would just make them, post them up on my website and like do different projects and stuff. So
well, that looks really cool.
thank you. And I've done a couple of fashion shows here, and then this was like Rock the Runway, and so I try to put like thread in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's like the fringe at the bottom, like you can still see that I stick it in there somewhere so that I get to see it. But yeah.
Yeah, I love those. So cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Is there, Sierra mentioned you might have other people you know who would want to talk? Do you know anybody else who's recently become a citizen or trying to become a citizen?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of. But I have a couple of friends who are like working right now. They're like international students and stuff, and so they have like the H-1B visa, but it's not as far as becoming a citizen and stuff. Because if you come here as an international student, that's like a longer process. It's like you have to get your employer to file for you, and it's like with Trump administration trying to phase all of that out. So it's a lot harder.
Not really.
Yeah. People I know either got it like years ago or something. So.
Well, no problem. Is there anything you think I left out? Anything you wanted to add?
No, cause I was telling Sierra, I was like, mine is fairly easy compared to like the stories that I've heard. So I was telling her, I was like, I don't think. I mean, it's different from what everyone else is going through for sure, but it's kind of like. Because I hear like horror stories of people trying to get citizenship for the last 20 years and it's this and it's that. And so I feel like their stories are different, but I don't know them. I haven't met them before. So,
well, I'll try and find them.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Thank you so much for talking to me.